Alright guys, so today we are going to be learning about parallel and perpendicular lines on a graph. So, parallel and perpendicular. So, a parallel line is, or parallel lines are lines that never intersect. So, this means that if we had a graph, we would have two lines that are never going to touch. So that would look like this. So let's say it was like this. So we could have a line up here, and we could have a line here. Okay? So algebraically, we know this because they are going to have the same slope. So if we looked at two equations and we saw that they had the same slope, then we would know that they were parallel lines. They would have different y-intercepts, but they would definitely have the same slope. Alright, so perpendicular lines. Our definition for that. These are going to be lines that intersect at a 90-degree angle. So, algebraically, we are going to know this if they have a negative reciprocal slope. So, when we are talking about a negative reciprocal, that means that we are going to have, so say we had a fraction, and say our fraction was 1/2. So our negative reciprocal of that would be a flipped fraction with a negative in front of it, because 1/2, its negative reciprocal is going to be -2. So if we started with -2, then our negative reciprocal would be 1/2. So our negative reciprocal is going to be a fraction flipped and a sign switched. Alright, so if we look at our negative reciprocals here, so we can see we have 3/4. So 3/4 we would turn into -4/3. So 2, we already did one up here. 2 would be a -1/2. Alright, and I will let you guys do the rest, but I will point out one here. So number 5, the opposite of 0 in this instance is going to be undefined. Because if you think about a graph, if we have a line with a 0 slope, then the opposite of that 0 slope is going to be an undefined slope. Alright, so then we can come down here to some examples. So we're going to determine if our segments A, B, and C, D are parallel, perpendicular, or neither. So what we're going to use is the slope formula. So in the first one, we would take 3 minus 6 over 2 minus 2, or minus a -2, sorry. We will get negative 3. Oh, I'm sorry. This is negative 2 minus 2. So we get negative 3/4, which comes out to 3/4. Then we'll use our slope formula for the next one. So we'll have 0 minus 3 over negative 1 minus 3. So then we get negative 3 over negative 4, which comes out to 3/4, which would mean that our lines are going to be parallel. So we can write parallel as 2 lines like this, because those lines are not going to touch. Okay, so let's do number 2. So again, we would just do 2 minus 4 over 0 minus 5. So we end up with negative 2 over negative 5, which comes out to 2 over 5. All right, then we'll do get the slope of the second one. So we get 8 minus 3 and 1 minus 3. So we end up with 5 over negative 2. Okay, so we can see that the opposite of 2/5 is negative 5 over 2 because we flipped our fraction and we switched our sign. So we're going to come over here and we're going to write the symbol for perpendicular. Okay? So I will let you guys do the other practice at the bottom of the page. So now we will switch to our other sheet where it says if we are given equations. So determine if the given equations are parallel, perpendicular, or neither. So we are just going to look at our slope. So right here you can see that our slope is 7. And right here our slope is 7. So we can say that those are going to be parallel. So then we look at number 10. We have y equals 4/5 x minus 8, and we have y equals negative 5/4 x plus 3. So our slope here is 4/5. Our slope here is negative 5/4. Okay? So we can see that 4/5 is going to be flipped to 5/4, and our sign is switched from positive to negative. So these would be perpendicular. All right, and I will let you guys complete the other practice.